Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Welcome to this Julius Baer Challenger Championship second day, and I'm very happy to be here with the one and only Judit Polgar. How are you?
Thanks very much. It's great to be here today, and we are going to see so many exciting moves. I'm pretty sure about that.
Exactly, so the first match, Prague took the victory, so now it's all in for Pranav. He needs a victory already to balance the matches.
Absolutely. This is what we see already on the screen, that yesterday Pragnananda won 2.5 in the 3-game match, which seems to be completely crushing, right? Though in the game it did not show exactly that. It was reflecting something different because Pranav had his opportunities in practically every game. It just didn't turn out to be exactly converting it into points, right? So it's very clear that Pranav has to recover, but I think the youngsters both are 16 years old only. They are both grandmasters, and I think actually Pranav became a grandmaster only last year.
Okay.
He's the number 75th grandmaster of India.
Wow.
Of course, India has so many grandmasters, so many talents. It's a real powerhouse of chess right now in India, and we see already the players being a little nervous. What do you think about that?
Right, they are already here, and as you said, mainly in the third game, Pranav had the draw if he wanted, but of course he had to go all in, so probably the most fair result yesterday was 2-1, right?
Exactly, 2-1 was a very realistic result, but we can see that Prague is kind of nervous because he's walking up and down. And you know, I was wondering yesterday that, well, actually this is the chess tournament setting which I never got to play. I was playing for more than 30 years chess competitions, but this is already for the next generation. When we don't see a chess set on the table right now, you see it below it, but they don't see a chess pieces on the board, but they're playing on the screen. They have no keyboard, they only have the mouse, and the players have to watch the game and play the game in a flat board, right? Isn't it strange for you? For me, I think I would go nuts in the beginning that I cannot touch the pieces. How do you make your routine of Jadub?
You cannot do it. And
How
it's
can I
actually...
Jadub? They take away this tradition and this very much... most of the chess players have that, right?
Yeah.
But they are already there and played 1e4. So Pragnananta starts with the white pieces today because he has played 2 blacks yesterday and only 1 with white. So now it's reversed. 6 bishop d3. I was playing this in my times when I was still competing.
So it's not one of the main moves, right, nowadays?
Not at all. Well, there are many other moves practically in the Najdorf. I tried all the possible moves like bishop g5, f4, g3,
h3.
even rook g1, h3, a4, practically all the legal moves. So this structure after e5, we can see that later on white can play f4. The d5 is a little bit weakness, though we'll see if black will be able to play d5 at a later stage.
Right, that's one of the main ideas, just to free the position with the move d5. So for example, bishop b6 followed by d5 makes sense. But as you said, maybe f4 is coming.
Yeah, usually this knight goes to g3 at a later stage, not necessarily standing fantastically over there, but it can be standing there, but I think f4 at some point will appear in this game. Also, white can go a4 at some point if he does not want to allow b5.
Another thing is, if you jumped with the knight on g3 to f5, black can just take the knight and play d5, right? And even though you have lost the bishop pair, you gain a lot of control in the center, right?
And that would be great for black because white's bishop pair does not show anything powerful, but white played knight d5, so he wants to explore immediately the d5 square.
So the first question that comes to my mind, Judith, instead of short castling for black, can he just take on d5 and then get rid of this weak pawn on g6?
This is a big question, whether could white black play knight b4 or just go knight b8 with an idea to regrouping it to d7. And right now, black can dream about playing kind of f5 and have strong pawn.
Actually, this reminds me to some sort of a Sveshnikov position, right? As we saw in the match Carlsen versus Fabi Caruana. Yeah?
Exactly. So it's a very different pawn structure than one would like in the Sicilian, I believe. But we have something very different, because after castle, white goes c4, so stabilizing this d5 knight. And after once black takes, most likely white is going to be capturing with the c pawn.
Right.
So after c4, I think for some time, black is not going to be capturing on d5.
So what do we play here with the black pieces? I'm just trying to think, maybe knight d7 in order to go knight c5?
Bishop e6 was played. I think maybe after bishop e6.
You want to go knight d7?
It would be possible to go knight d7, knight to c5.
Yeah, and another possible plan is to trade the dark squared bishops, right? For example, knight d7 in order to go bishop g5. So maybe a prophylactic move would be here queen to d2 in order to stop that.
Yes, it looks a very logical continuation, though black can play possibly h6. And be persistent on that he wants to exchange the bishop pair, the black bishops. And in these kind of positions, it's kind of tricky that which kind of pair of pieces you want to get rid of, because it can decide the evaluation how we are going to see. And we have queen d2 on the board. This is the position. I'm wondering if Pranav wants to play h6 or he wants to go knight c5. Possibly f5 is not something that black can be happy about, because for the moment I think in this position white would simply be very nice. After knight g3, black goes back, white can go and look how to beautiful knight on the white square.
Full control on the light squares, yeah.
So this I wanted to show because it is so typical, right, that in this position you don't want to exchange the white square bishops because it favors black to have this bishop. And this bishop on d3, it bumps into its own pawns.
So it looks like you would need this bishop on e7 to protect the d6 pawn, but white has two minor pieces in between, so there is no real pressure against d6, so that's why it's interesting to trade this dark squared bishop.
At the same time, maybe not yet, because white can think of playing rook d1 later on, exchanging the bishop on e7 and somehow attack the d6. But for now, it seems like it takes time for white to move away this bishop. Actually, many times this bishop should be standing on f1. And knight d7 was taken after h6. Knight c3, I would think that white will go rook d1 and go bishop f1.
So we need actually to protect the d6 pawn, maybe with bringing some rook to d8 and then moving the knight to c5 or something?
That's also possible. There's I don't know if knight d4 is an option. Also rook c8 can be a move, so for at some point the c4 can be attacked.
Okay. So knight d4, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight e2, queen f6, yeah? And then
you
protect everything, or
knight
e5 even.
I'm not so happy with having this with black, but for the moment white cannot move the bishop because the c4 is hanging. So if white goes b3, let's say.
Yeah, now the d4 pawn could be in trouble, yeah?
And then later the d6. Yeah. So the pawns on the d file, they are not really happy, I think.
And then you're not in time to break with b5, so...
Well, yeah, I think somehow black is behind in time. So knight d4 is not so good. Black can go knight c5, though. That is something to consider.
Right.
Knight c5, rook c8, rook d8, your idea to somehow be prepared to defend the d6 pawn. I'm not crazy about these positions, playing it with black, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to play it with white.
You have the bishop pair, you have pressure against d6, d4 is controlled, so...
So far, so good.
Yeah, black doesn't have any good breaks. f5 or b5 are very difficult to achieve, so... I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, f5 you can play it, but as you said, like...
You give so many weaknesses after that. And that's what we have. Knight c5, bishop e2, f5. Though it's a little different because the white bishops are staying on the board. So the white squares will be not so weak for black. f5. Very energetic play by Pranav.
I guess you have to take, or maybe not. Otherwise, f4 could be coming.
Yeah, this is a question whether should white hold the center by playing f3, giving the option for black to capture on e4. Playing f4, I think it would be not so good. I don't like that move. Or just keeping the tension. And
maybe you can just improve the a8 rook, just bringing it to d8, for example.
Well, this is one of the questions. The other question is whether it's better for white to capture it, because if rook f5, then probably bishop g4 makes sense to exchange the white square bishop, or after ef, if bishop f5, Then I don't know if we can explore a little bit how white can explore and maybe just rook d1. I mean, let's start putting pressure.
Yeah, he actually took on f5, and then we are in this position.
Okay, what about rook d1, rook d8?
I guess rook d8 to protect d6. And now...
Well, knight d5 looks pretty tempting, and even after queen moves away, maybe b4, knight
you have
e6,
knight e6, and at least you get the d4 square.
Yeah. But somehow it seems like white has a better possession.
But at least if I manage to get to d4, I have something
but
to
you
play
know,
for.
There is only one d4 square for 2 of your knights.
That's right.
So you can put only one there. But it seems very logical that white is going to play knight d5, either here or in the next move.
Maybe we can ask our producer, Tadeas, to have as well the current position, because some people are asking for it in the chat. Hello, guys. Oh, but not to Tadeas. Hello, guys, on the chat. Just remember, we are reading you guys, so you can ask Judit whatever you want.
Or you.
Or me as well, yeah.
Now we see Pragnananda.
So you would definitely take the white pieces here, right?
I think I would rather play it with white. I would rather play it with white. Yeah. Although I'm not sure how I would be continuing. Now, for example, this is again a typical position of this structure. Which rook would you be playing to read d1? I mean,
I guess
can
the
ask
a1
our
rook, just by
also.
intuition. I don't know why, because...
it looks like a nice bow tie on
right.
Because if we go rook d1, it means this bishop will be standing on e2 for a long time.
Right. So
if let's say I go rook fd1, it means that I can go away with my bishop on f1 if I want. I'm not sure, but before I was planning that.
And then somehow you want to bring the other rook to c1 in the future?
And we have bishop f3. So bishop f3 is a provocation, actually. What happens on e4? I think on e4, maybe white can take.
And then bishop e4, yeah?
Yeah, this is what I want to check. Or queen d5 first. That's another idea, though.
That's more direct.
More direct, but my queen can get in trouble.
That's right. And
beautiful self-trap. Okay, so queen d5 is not a good choice, but if bishop e4, rook e1, then black goes rook d8.
And then the rook is coming to d4, so...
Yeah, suddenly it's not easy. Knight d5 is possible to play, but I think black can just move to e6 or e5, so it doesn't seem to be so simple.
And play f3 here.
But after f3, rook d5 and queen d5.
Oh, I didn't see that.
This is what happens when some of your pieces are not protected.
Tricks.
It was interesting to see that Pragnananda, who won the match of yesterday, he visited the studio, and he pointed out several positions or points in each game where he admitted that, oh, I got a heart attack, and I was panicking when I saw this move or I saw that move. And this is what happens, that even with strong grandmasters and even with the very best players, it happens that you play the game, but you find yourself blundering a move or did not pay attention, or you realize it only after you made your move, and after that you try to show on your face that everything is calm. But actually, you know what is very strange? That even though they are sitting there front of each other, opposite to each other, because of the monitor, they don't see each other face.
Right, right.
So
maybe through the Zoom call or something?
No Zoom call. Everybody is here physically in Tel Aviv.
But that is why chess is so exciting, because nothing is decided in the end. You have many mistakes, even with the best chess players in the world. Bishop to d5 has been played.
Yeah, bishop d5.
So maybe an idea could be just to trade on e6 and then play that position. Let's say king h8 here, and then black is ready to jump to d4. So would you take on e6?
No.
I know it's very hard to give up the bishop pair.
I would not give up my bishop. If you give up your bishop, bishop takes e6, I believe. This is hanging now. White plays b3.
I wanted to try this position, but
I don't
Knight
know,
e4
probably,
next. You have d5 always.
Maybe I would go queen f7, trying to regroup it to g6.
Well, now bishop b6, and then knight e4.
But I'm going to go queen g6.
You want to mate me.
You cannot take that.
f3? Yeah,
rook d6.
Rook d6.
Sorry, these things I still see, even though I stopped playing chess for 8 years. But now these ones I see. So after king h8, which was just played, let's see what's possible to play. What do you think about bishop e6, bishop e6, bishop h6?
Ooh.
With the idea of taking,
and then
taking. So queen cannot go there because the bishop is hanging. And let's say rook d3.
Wow. So is this winning? Because rook f7, just rook g3 and rook takes g7 followed by queen e6.
We talked about this yesterday, that how important and how much it's underestimated, how powerful horizontally the rook can be.
Right.
I don't know if this can work, because after
bishop h6.
After bishop h6, sorry, where are we? Oops. It was
so bishop e6 there after king h8.
Yeah, bishop e6.
Maybe you can even take with the queen.
Yeah, that's possible. Maybe that's safer.
So you cover h6 and.
Yeah, and actually the bishop on f5 stands very well.
Cover
because
e4.
many times e4 and knight e5 is the continuation for black.
Right.
But we have something different on the board, because white played knight e4 instead of capturing on e6. Of course, he's not going to give the pair of bishop on d5. It just stands perfectly. And black went knight c to d4.
Well, so many pieces in the center of the board. This is getting.
But it's becoming a mess. Real mess, this game.
It's tough to calculate now. There are so many possible traits.
Pranav knows that he wants to win this match of 3 games of today. And you can see that Praggnanandhaa feels the pressure, because he took the lead yesterday. And he was anyway the favorite in the match.
Right.
And of course, it's not easy for the players. But let's see. So Pranav has a little bit more time than white. And actually, this knight on d4, it's really annoying for white.
Yeah.
I think white should be playing f3 at some point.
f3 just to consolidate everything. I mean, f4 looks very shaky, right? It's the only way to challenge the center, but...
it's interesting, f4, actually.
Somehow I just don't believe it, but it's the only way to challenge that center, yeah?
The question is, what is your threat after f4?
That's right.
Let's say I go bishop g4, for example.
Rook e1.
I try to push that away, rook e1. Possibly knight f5, attacking a little bit your bishop on e3.
Bishop b6.
f4 actually is very interesting, I believe. f4.
He didn't go for it. He played rook f to e1 instead.
Because maybe he wants to do it after that. Though I don't like this move, because on f3 square, something can happen. What about bishop g4 now?
If I play f3, you want to boom on f3, yeah? Bishop takes.
Yes, because if bishop e6...
Bishop to d1 now.
Bishop d1.
Intermediate move.
Absolutely. So after bishop g4...
So I guess I can move the rook away.
But you don't want to. You have to, but you don't want to, I think, generally.
The thing is, I can never kick this bishop by playing h3 or f3, because you always can capture.
Well, white can try to take on e6, right? So that's how it can be pushed back, the d4 knight. And bishop g4 on the board, and rook c1 is on the board. But I think it can be tricky. Well, knight f5 is possible. I don't know what...
Knight f5, bishop b6, I guess.
I would rather keep it on d4, though, but still. Bishop b6, rook d7.
But now you gotta be careful with this, with f3, right? Or h3?
Yeah, I don't know. h3.
Maybe g4 is just too much.
No, you cannot go g4 because knight h4.
Too much, yeah.
And that's really too much for... But look at that, black plays
b5.
b5.
Wow.
And this is what I like in Pranav's play. There were so many games I've seen that he really lives the whole apartment, the whole chessboard.
He occupies everything.
He occupies. He takes advantage of space, going in this, on queen side, king side.
He's trying to create mess everywhere, like me in hotel rooms. Like, it's such a disaster.
Knight g3. Well, now, knight g3. There is a threat now with bishop d4. Whoa. So this is why the rook on e1 can be very powerful. Yeah, but so now black can go queen f6, for example, or queen h4. Important that black moves out from e7.
Right. So only 3 minutes for Pranav, 3 minutes 14 seconds for Pragnananda. This is getting to trying trouble.
Now Prag played fast the last few moves, so he gained a little advantage, because before Pranav had an advantage on time, half a minute or so.
And at some point we cannot forget about this bishop h6 idea you were mentioning.
So well, that is also, but it's not going to go there, because queen f6 or queen h6, I believe.
Right. Knight f5.
Knight f5. Playing solid.
No.
You want to take it?
Yeah, I want to take it.
And let's say after rook f5, bishop h6, right?
That's right.
And this seems to be a pawn. So rook f5 is not possible.
Also maybe h3, followed by g4, right? If you take with the rook.
Yeah, that's also possible. So bishop f5 is a must.
Somehow now I want to put pressure against your pawns on the queen side.
I think this exchange of knights, of g3 and d4, it favors white.
Right. Because now b5 could be weak.
Bishop f5.
For example, take on b5 and then queen b4, something like that.
Takes queen b4. Even actually queen a5 can be sensible.
Straight away, yeah, without
taking.
Pawns. Yeah.
Just as an option. But cb5 also I like. cb5 takes queen b4 or queen a5. I mean, this bishop can support greatly in endgame the pawn on
we have
a5.
A very safe king on g1,
and we have queen a5.
Suddenly, no more action in the center, and then we go to the queen side, attacking this pawn on a6.
This can be very annoying.
How to protect it? You cannot play queen a7, you cannot play rook a8.
No, these two bishops are covering some of the most important squares.
Maybe knight c7? Looks very ugly, but bishop b6 just wins material, yeah. Then...
No, rook b8.
Counterplay.
Rook b8, but I think queen a6.
Pawn takes c4, it's probably his idea.
Or knight c7 and trying to capture d5.
And then play this opposite color bishop position.
Though white has a pawn up, right?
Right, pawn is a pawn.
Pawn is a pawn. And you like pawns.
Yeah,
I like pawns.
love pawns, yeah, everybody.
And I have the feeling that Prag will also like it. b3.
Wow, such a nice consolidating move.
Very nice move.
Yeah, I really like it. Because now it's still almost impossible to protect the a6 pawn.
Well, he played b3 because if what we wanted to play queen a6, maybe black just takes on c4 and then the b2 is hanging. So this is why he just plays the quiet b3. Sometimes these quiet moves can be killers.
Right.
Very annoying, especially now. For sure, Pranav will... well, he was not thinking much. But it can be a very annoying moment.
I like knight c7 because now the rook is not on d8 anymore, so bishop d6 is not working.
Okay, and this bishop is a little bit
so can we go just
pushed.
Bishop to c6? Just trying to...
After bishop c6, I think black will be taking.
Then rook takes.
Takes, and d... no,
we have bishop c5 there.
Then bishop e6, and then d5.
Right. So you're
Though black is very passive.
Yeah,
having a knight on c7.
Bishop b6 coming.
You can't be so proud of yourself. I mean, white just goes back, right?
Right.
And really d5 is not possible because of bishop c5 immediately. So let's see, bishop c6. Yeah. How should black play here? What about playing b4? Is it crazy to cut out the queen?
I just wanted to go there, bishop b6. But no, he took on c4.
He took on c4, rook c4.
And this is getting very difficult for Pranav. With only 1 minute and 20 seconds, bishop to d3.
Bishop d3.
I like this move. Maybe going back to b5.
b5. Yes, that's a nice try.
Nice resource.
Rook c1 or rook c3? I would go rook c1 maybe.
Rook c1.
Rook c3.
And then bishop b5, I guess.
Bishop b5.
And
what
now,
about a4? a4 can be very annoying. Look at that. Oh, poor knight on c7.
Yeah. a6 is gonna fall, and once you take on a6, d6 is also...
This is getting very tough for black.
And maybe I can also go back to e4, for example, with the bishop. So a4 is coming as well.
Bishop a7.
Ooh.
We think differently from the young grandmaster. Actually, Praggnanandhaa became a grandmaster by age of 12.
Wow.
And 10 months, I think. So he was also a very young grandmaster. He's a grandmaster for more than 3 years.
12 years old, Judit. When did you become grandmaster?
I became grandmaster breaking Fischer's record at the age of 15.
Wow.
I was so old,
Wow.
you see.
So old for nowadays. I mean, with 20, when I was 12 years old, I couldn't even go alone to the toilets.
But look at this. These guys are cool.
Wow, such a nice resource.
Knight d5. You see, the bishop on a7 is attacked. On c3. I don't know how good is this, but it's a very nice move, I must say.
Right, and only 44 seconds for Pragg. He just takes on
Bishop
b8, knight takes
knight
c3.
c3, queen c3.
And rook b8, and I will say
What
black
about
is
rook
fine.
c8 also?
Ooh.
And rook c8 is there. Look at that. Look at that, what kind of resource Pranav had.
Very nice.
I mean, and look how happy he's energetic, shaking his body and focused. And now he's kind of happy finally with his position, right?
Yes.
Rook b6, rook c6, a4. Oh,
Yes.
poor bishop.
And you take with the bishop, d6 is falling.
d6 is hanging.
Wow, very nice move, queen d2. But then he takes on b8, that's fine.
Okay.
We were scared, but nothing happens.
Some very nice ideas in this game. Nice tactics.
So now anything can happen, actually.
Bishop
in this
e4.
time, trouble.
But white is clearly better. I mean, this bishop, look at the contrary to the bishop on
The
b4.
pawn structure is also better for
Yeah.
white. 3 islands versus 2.
Exactly. Queen d2 was a very nice move. Smart and nice move.
And also at some point, bishop b1 followed by queen c2.
You're very mean.
Always in the
You're
air.
very mean. You want to give checkmate on h7. I
Maybe
see.
just too simple.
Well, after bishop b1 or something, maybe, well, rook d1, he just puts pressure on d6, queen a7, putting
Counterplay.
pressure. Always looking for counterplay. Passive play, the youngsters, they don't like. This bishop actually stands not bad at all, but once white is going to be pushing it a4,
How about
h3.
Yeah, very subtle. How about the endgame? Going queen e3 or something like this?
He doesn't want to do that yet.
I know.
Yet.
They're very young. They like queens, but...
Well, rook f4 would be a blunder, or no? Because maybe already queen d6 is possible. Not now,
Queen
because
f2?
queen f2 first,
Right.
and only
Then rook
after
e4.
that rook e4.
Yeah, he went for queen e3.
And he went queen e3. You see, not yet. The bishop is back on e8. And now this can be unplayed. Of course, he's
guess-
not exchanging the
Yeah,
queen.
rook c1, I guess, is the move now.
But then you're
then rook queen
then the
e5.
d6 pressure on d6 is not there.
Exactly.
At the same time, white's queen can show up on b6. That can be unpleasant.
Queen
Queen d8.
d8. All black pieces in the back rank, so...
Bishop d3, forcing a5, I think. Bishop b5 is possible.
Maybe queen
but
a7.
a5.
so- Just
The
trying
only
to scare-
piece I don't like is e8, and now queen e4. G6 is
G6.
provoked. You see, it's like playing bishop d3, looking on a6, and then actually he wants to give mate on h7.
Looking everywhere.
Queen e3, attacking on h6, but also looking here, for
Right.
sure, like this double attack.
Queen a7, rook f7 still okay for blacks.
Yeah, for the moment, black is holding.
And now he changes back the plan. He goes back to d1 in order to put pressure against d6.
Interesting maneuvering by Pragg.
I guess black is solid with a rook on f6, for
But they
example.
both have like 16 seconds, 15 seconds, so now it really goes by the hand.
Queen b6,
By
now
the
double
mouse.
attack against the bishop and the pawn on a5. And the bishop can always go back to f1 to protect g2.
Yeah, that can be powerful. Well, this is it. You see, there are so many weaknesses in the position of black.
And now Prag is just a pawn up,
h5.
clean pawn up. And he can start rolling the pawns on the queen side by playing a4.
13 seconds for white, 10 seconds for black.
Queen d2, you can play d5, right?
Bishop d5, very classical way of doing it. Though, what about rook a8? No, bishop
e8, and now you consolidate and then you start pushing, right?
Well, it's not going to be easy to defend this for black. Time have to play big role to save this game for Pranav.
a5, b4.
No, this is like, look Praggnanandhaa, how he's like securing all his pieces,
not giving
puts
any chance
pressure
of
on d6 just in case, he puts pawn on a6. But now maybe d5 will be a threat. So
no, he doesn't allow it.
No, and look how all these important squares are covered. Actually, it's a very nice technique how Prag is playing this.
It looks like a Carlsen game, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, kind of. He's not going to slip this away. Queen c3, no, b4, just little by little.
Step by step.
Step by step.
There's no hurry.
But how he made the weaknesses on the king's side as well, right? This g6, h5.
Provoke g6.
Provoke the king coming to g7, so on the 7th rank it can be vulnerable.
Now rook c7 is coming as well.
Oh.
It's almost game over. Rook c7 looks very strong, followed by queen a7 and bishop c6. Probably you can resign already.
Well, he has 5 seconds left. Difficult to make a move. King h6, queen e3. Next move, bishop c6.
He's got to play g5. He doesn't want to go back to the 7th rank.
Well, h4 is also not a bad option, but bishop c6, rook d8, and then white is going to be...
Such a torture, this game.
And Pranav, I see it on his face that, okay, it's done. Resigned. Very upsetting for Pranav. Well, it's not nice to start with a losing in the second match, and he wanted to avoid it so much. But we should not forget that I also believe that Praggnanandhaa is a more experienced player by now, even though they are on same age. But Praggnanandhaa was the champion of the Challengers Chess Tour of 2021. So since then, in the last 1 year, he had plenty of opportunity to play against the very best players as part of the Champions Chess Tour. So what an upsetting game for Pranav.
Right.
Right? It was, well...
He was defending well, but he was, I mean, Prag was always on top.
He just outplayed him.
Right, right.
I mean, this is the exactly great example of that, when the better player wins. And Prag showed that he was a better player in this game.
I think Prag is also playing in the Tata Steel tournament this year, right? Another great opportunity for him.
Yeah, that will be the first chess party, right? Everybody waits.
Right.
All the chess enthusiasts. Have you been there?
Never.
Never.
I guess you have played many times.
I played in the B group. I played in the A group several times. It's a very special place.
It's a small village, right? In the Netherlands?
It's a very small village. And simply, from weather-wise, you're not going in the right time because it's a sea village.
January in Netherlands?
It's a sea village. It's cold. It's freezing. It's windy.
Right.
So it's absolutely perfect circumstances to play chess.
Right.
Yeah, that's the case there. So what were the key points in this game? Let's go back.
I think this knight f5 maybe. Trading the g3 knight for the f5 or the d4 knight. So
this structure, and actually, you know what? I think this structure you have to know very well with black. if white doesn't understand this structure and if black doesn't understand the structure, still it's much easier to play it with white.
Right.
You cannot go wrong so easily with white. While with black, you have to make a decision. How do you set up with your rook? Do you play f5 or you don't? But you easily can get trouble with the pawn on d6. So he went f5, which seemed to be not bad at all. But in this position, after knight e6, knight d4, it was interesting how Praggnanandhaa set his rooks on e1 and c1. I was kind of surprised on that. Maybe b5 was not the right move. Yeah. Because eventually he lost the game on the queen side, right?
Right. The a6 pawn became weak.
Yeah, and after
you
b5,
gave a target.
Yeah, I think this exchange of the knights, it was a big problem for black.
Because the knight is always protecting b5 as well.
And the d4, what is the only problem of white in this position?
That knight.
Is the knight on d4, right? So this is the only piece which can give a hard time for white.
Right.
So black definitely had to go somewhere with his queen, I think.
Yeah, queen h4, queen f6.
Queen f6, I don't know which one is better.
But maybe he was already scared about these queen a5 ideas anyway.
Well, of course, bishop e6, knight has to take back. It's already maybe not so simple because this g3 knight is not so well placed, but it defends very well the king side.
Right. Maybe queen a5 in this position once again.
Yeah, you see, I would rather
b5.
have my pawn on b7. Though I'm not sure because after queen a5, I would rather take and start pushing d5.
Right.
Then I don't mind to have my pawn on b5.
But maybe can I include c takes b5 followed by queen b4 and then you also have a pin along the fourth rank, so h3 is also a threat?
Okay, so after d5, h3, I go d4.
d4.
You take.
I take, I guess. This is just a maybe healthy
take
pawn
it.
up.
Yeah, yeah, queen b4 here. Yeah, knight f4 possibly. Yeah, these horizontal tactics can be very annoying. That's true indeed. Interesting knight g3, right? It's so unexpected in some ways that you have a beautiful knight on e4, which is just centralized, active, everything is perfect, and then you go knight g3.
But do you need knight g3 in this position? I mean, can you go queen a5 straight away or something like this?
Well, he wanted to get rid of this d4 knight first. Yeah. And besides that, knight e2 is always there.
Exactly.
To start with.
Yeah. Also, you stop this.
But maybe after
e2 fork.
after knight g3, maybe I should go here.
Queen f6 instead of
or queen d7. What do you think about queen d7?
Queen d7, more solid.
And I defend also on b5. Queen d7.
But maybe once again queen a5 here.
But after queen a5, I think black can go already. Well, first of all, knight f4 can be
I didn't see
an
that
option.
coming.
But what about taking?
Yeah, I wanted to take with the rook.
You take with the rook, and then to play, what to play. Maybe it's not so obvious. Actually, the sense of knight g3 probably it was also to defend
cover the e2
cover the e2. Yes, so maybe I don't play after queen a5. Okay, so after all, what I wanted to play.
I like knight f4, yeah.
Knight f4, but you know what? Knight c5 can be also very annoying.
Yeah, because there is a fork on d3 as well.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. Queen a5, maybe knight c5 is an option also. To go to d3. Okay.
Yeah, you
also
cover
defending.
a6.
Yeah, why not? So I think queen d7 was the move.
Yeah, just to keep this knight on d4 in the game.
Yeah, yeah. So if you exchange pair of pieces, get the d5 bishop.
Right.
So if white is ready to give up the bishop, then you go back with the knight and you don't have your knight on d4 anymore. But this is a completely different story to get the white bishop instead of the white knight. And this is very interesting. You know, I like this when I talk with talented kids and I'm teaching sometimes. How interesting that sometimes with the exchange of pieces, you just get a huge advantage. And this is what happened here, right? That after knight g3, knight f5, I mean, here white has a huge advantage.
Right, there's no counterplay for black, right?
There was no blunder, right? It's just a pair of pieces of exchange. because there is no activity for black at all left. But some weak pawns did stop. Well, okay, and then later on, I liked very much the way Praggnanandhaa played. Actually.
This b3 is also very
nice. b3, bishop c6.
Very classy.
I would go back to c1 maybe, but I understand this also. Here we were talking about a4, which made a lot of sense. But knight d5,
knight d5, nice resource. Yeah.
I love this resource, though Pragg did not panic and played very well.
Maybe this is actually close to equality for black. I don't know.
Well, if rook b8, also bishop d5, right?
Yeah, and this position is that bad for black?
It should be bad. I mean, look at the difference between the bishops.
So what do you think would be the evaluation of Stockfish here?
This bishop e4. Stockfish? Well, I'm sure our audience know it. I think, well, I'm not very good at this plus 1.3 and stuff evaluations. I'm from the old school. Plus equal, plus minus under each other. Well, it should be more than 1.
More than 1.
What do you think?
Yeah, I was about to say 0.65 or something.
Well, actually, if you look at it, I mean, every piece is better than black's.
Right.
And the king is extremely vulnerable, right?
Pawn
because of the
as
white.
well.
I mean, black, if he would go anytime d5, then already, okay, he's breathing. But this bishop is like much worse than the bishop.
Right. And if you try to improve the bishop, then a6 could suffer. So.
Yeah, it's very hard to get counter chances with black. I think at the same time, I really like the way Pragg played, because queen a7, h3, he likes these b3, h3, improving the position, little like this Karpov style.
Right.
Right? I mean, I just make a move.
This isn't supposed to be Pragg style, you know?
Pragg yeah. Bishop e8, queen e3, also a nice move. So if, let's say, takes,
yeah, this
rook
game
f6,
is very uncomfortable because you have
rook
the c5, yeah, and these 2 versus 1.
Black has to come with the king.
Rook c7 maybe.
Rook c7. I mean, look at this bishop, so powerful, right? Very difficult to defend for black. So queen e3, queen c7, rook c1, bishop d3. This move, bishop d3. I'm attacking your pawn. I was not intending to take it. I want queen e4.
Provoking g6?
And how important to provoke g6, because now extra weaknesses for black. Queen e3, king g7.
Extraction of the king to the 7th rank, I like that as well.
And look also how he's switching the rook moves, controlling the c file, or again trying to put on d6, because there is no harmony in black's pieces, right? The bishop was active on b5, but now on e8, it has a role to defend on g6 weakness.
He's dancing with the rook and bishop and queen.
Actually, here maybe bishop f7 I would go. It's praying to play one day d5.
Queen f6 and d5.
Yeah.
But then the e5 pawn could suffer once again.
Yeah, but something will suffer.
Cover everything. Yeah?
Yes, yeah. Somehow it seems like black has too many weaknesses. But maybe there was a better defense. But after all, okay, it's a rapid game and it became a blitz game.
It's very hard.
Yeah, yeah. So it will be very hard for Pranav to get back.
Right. Yeah. Now he needs at least a draw to force the 3rd game today.
Exactly.
But he's got the white pieces in the next game.
The question is, how is he going to be able to recover psychologically?
Psychologically.
Because I was worried about him a little bit when he resigned.
Okay.
He was sitting there.
You saw his face and you didn't like it?
Yeah, when you sit there and you're thinking that, where did I go wrong?
Yeah, and he didn't have real chances of in this game.
He was outplayed.
He was outplayed. So.
In many different points, right?
Right.
I mean, simply Pragg, I think, was having a much better understanding of this type of position.
Yeah.
This was the problem.
Right.
Because he played b5, he exchanged the piece which he shouldn't have exchanged.
Couple of bad decisions and then no chance.
Yeah, yeah. Because
this is what happens when you give an edge to one of these players, yeah? 2,700 players.
Yeah, yeah, and Pragg is almost 2,700 by now, right? So Prague is more than 100 rating points higher right now than Pranav.
That's a huge difference.
But, of course, with the 16-year-old talented kids, you can never know from one day to another. But it's clear that they play chess non-stop, right? Online, offline.
Yeah, they play a lot of tournaments.
And it's not only that, it was so funny when we were commentating the Final Four of the Challengers Chess Tour. It was some of the players were playing at the same time some World Junior events. You remember?
He was in Asia, in the Asian Continental Championship or something.
Yeah, during the day he's playing over the board, and then in the evening he's playing online. So, and this seems to be quite normal for the youngsters now.
But this is good for chess. We have so many events nowadays. Like before, it was not like that, I guess. Yeah.
But for me, I don't know if I would be able to. I mean, with the mindset we had back in the late 90s or even in the 2008.
You would never play a bullet tournament in between your classical tournament, yeah?
Impossible. I mean, I was playing with these guys, Kasparov, Karpov, and Kramnik. I mean, everybody was so serious about the classical game is chess, right?
So bullet and blitz was like a joke for you guys, right? Like
the bullet did not exist even, I think, for the top players.
And blitz?
Blitz, I played a lot when I was a teenager and I grew up, but after that I was not playing so much of blitz.
It was nothing, it was not a serious thing
not
for you,
part of my training anymore, let's say, when I was in the top 50 in the world. But, well, sometimes, of course, after the tournament, you're hanging out, playing blitz and so on. I mean, that was a lot of fun.
This is the thing about chess players. We are so obsessed with playing, yeah? I mean, we're in a party, we're still playing blitz games.
Yeah, and actually by now there are so many different type of games, right? With hand and brain, you have all kind of different kind of chess, like Fischer Random is getting popularity, gaining popularity.
What's the name of this variation where you capture a piece and then you give to...
Backhouse.
Right, backhouse.
Backhouse. Yeah. I also heard that they played, but that was also in my times.
Okay.
When I was like 12, 13, I remember that many people were playing. Even we were playing sometimes, not as a training, but for fun, because well, the three of us needed only one more person.
Right. And would you say it is a bad thing for chess to practice this?
I think it does not help at all.
Okay.
I mean, can you imagine you're calculating something and, hey, do you have a paper? I mean, nobody will give you the phone.
But okay, I understand it does not help, but is it bad for your game or?
Well, for me, I think I played very rarely, extremely rarely, because I didn't consider that it adds anything to my game.
Okay.
And I mean, for fun you can do it, of course, but I was rather playing blitz games.
Yeah.
And online chess, I was not favoring that at all.
Okay.
Because somehow in those times it was, I never liked when I played with a phantom. And well, of course, these days it's also kind of tricky, right? Who do you play with?
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe with a machine as well.
It's quite challenging, but nowadays it's very common for youth chess players to develop an opening repertoire.
Yeah,
and then they
face grandmasters every day.
Yes.
Because before, in my time when I was a teenager, I mean, I had a chance to play grandmaster once every 2 months or something.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you can, if you're strong enough to get some decent rating online, you can play grandmasters every day. So.
But what is also interesting that I think Magnus Carlsen is also going online with, not necessarily with his own handle, but he goes online and he's testing some of the openings, because it's very important to have a good feeling about the openings you play, right?
Right.
And especially now that you have to switch openings and you have to alternate ideas and openings to confuse your opponent, much more than in my times. That now it's much more important to make a surprise, right?
Right.
So you have to be very fast, and you have an idea, okay, I try it out, so I play. It's like making a survey on Twitter, right? Or Facebook, that, okay, let's see what people think. So you go online, you play your game, so let's have a feeling. Is it okay or not so okay?
Okay, but you say you want to test your repertoire online, but not so much, because people get access to these games and then they prepare. I want so many games just by looking at the online games from people.
But you know what's very funny? That I know that some people go online, they play. I know some people who are making preparation based on the games they see online games from those opponents, because they know people try to figure out that what is the fake handle of this grandmaster, that grandmaster, and some people even play specifically misleading openings because they know
people,
that those people who prepare, they are checking their online games. I mean, it's like, you know, completely outsmarting everybody. So I hope those people are not getting really confused by the end of it. But yesterday, we were showing some of the great talent player of Praggnanandhaa, some of the games, how great he developed his chess. Now it's time for us to show how Pranav made some of the great examples. So
beautiful
I want to,
combinations.
Yeah, we have just a few minutes because we are going to see that they start the game. Well, one of the last one I want to show, because I like this very much, and you remember that
I was very impressed as well by that game.
This was at the Finals 4 of Julius Baer Challengers Chess Tour, and I loved this game when we were commentating together live. Because in this game, if we go back just a few moves, it was very clear somehow that, well, probably it's white who's going to be pushing a little bit. White played f3, c6, what to do, how to improve with white. This was the saying, right? And then we thought, well, maybe knight g4, black can do nothing else than playing king e7, king e6, just waiting and sit and wait. And then Pranav comes and he says, no.
I have an idea as well.
I don't sit and wait, and you're going to be deciding. And he played this rook c8. So what I liked very much that White, Sadhvani, who was actually clearly better in rating, he went to h2 from e3 with his knight, and then Pranav realized that now maybe there is an opportunity, because if the knight on h2 instead of e3, then it's nowhere from the center, right? Because on e3 the knight is controlling the d5, so it was obvious that you control the game very well. And after knight h2, rook c8, knight g4 back.
Right.
But by now, white is not on d5 immediately, right? So he came back knight e3.
So black has the tempo to bring the rook to c7 before the knight arrives to d5 and then gain control over the c5, right?
Exactly. So by now, I think black is kind of having the upper hand. It's kind of nicer for him because of the c file. But for it's white already who has to look for equalization. And okay, I want to make a draw. I don't want to win anymore. And he lost so easily, right? It was like, you can feel that it's black who has the gained activity. So I really like this game of Pranav. He shows
it's not easy because when you're facing a stronger opponent, you have the tendency of just waiting your opponent. And then suddenly he plays rook c8 and then he says, okay, I'm here. And I'm going for the game.
I think also that it's a very important skill that when you are down like 80 points, you still, if you see an opportunity, you grab it. It's not that, okay, if it's a draw, I'm very happy. Right? And then he won this game this way. But I just wanted to point out that I really like that move of rook c8. But now I want to show, we got some great selection here. This is the position. Pranav is playing with the white pieces. It seems to be a very solid positional game, right? White has a pair of bishops.
A nice bishop on b3.
Yeah, a3, a5, gaining little space. But actually, it's nothing special. It's just you prefer to play it with white, right? And then he makes a move bishop c4.
Which could look stupid at first glance, because you say, I mean, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Why you don't develop the rest of the pieces?
Do you want to go b3 and bishop to b2, or what kind of idea you have, right? And then the opponent innocently played rook d8. Okay, bishop c4, so what do you want? But there was a hidden idea behind bishop c4. And actually it was not a positional one, but a tactical one, playing bishop h6, takes, king h8, check here, and finally that a4 with a5 plan. That's for the next game. It's rook a3, and bringing this beautiful rook horizontally, as what we were talking about, that how nicely the rook can be powerful on from a3 to g3 or anywhere horizontally in the board. So game is over.
It's game over. There's no way to cover the g3 square.
Absolutely, but I think it's I was tricky like this. when I was a kid.
I was never tricky like that.
I was like playing bishop c4.
Just to look around, like.
But you see that again, the whole board is playing. So you would not accept necessarily that the a1 rook gives mate in several moves, right?
Like 3, 4 moves. Yeah.
Not exactly the most active piece in this game. So this was something nice we had, and then let's see something more. Well, of course, like small tactics like this one, it comes very naturally for these boys because they play online a lot. Mm-hmm. And these kind of tactics they just see, right? Just in a second. I mean, this probably they are very fast with this one.
Yeah.
But let's see another one, which is not so easy tactics. This was played with Hungarian talented youngster, Adam Horvath. Pranav was playing with the white pieces.
Yeah, I don't know if it works, but you have to go for knight g6. Yeah.
Well, it is very tempting, right? And look at this knight on a7. It should be already on b5 at least, or
right.
d4, not only centralizing, but also to defend against bishop e6. But this is a good example when all your pieces are standing perfectly for an attack and the defender has a knight on a7, which is absolutely doing nothing and no way that it can join into the defense. And these are the positions where practically there is no way that you can defend
bishop
against
e6,
the
rook f7,
bishop f5 or bishop e6 attacking. So black played queen a8, he just went bishop f5, going to attack by playing queen h7, next queen d5, check, king g1, but still there is no way really to defend. But after rook f7 it's not so easy to win, right?
Right.
And he went h4.
h4, what's the point?
I think the point is that eventually when he goes, let's say bishop, queen h7 check,
king f8,
bishop f6, bishop g6, rook f2, you can go rook f2 and then king h2, or king h2 first, going out from the first rank.
Okay.
Well, these things can happen when there is not enough defensive pieces, right?
So you need just 2 tempi to bring the knight to e5, so you're too far away.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I guess after knight c6, white can go here, here, bishop g6.
Time to resign, yeah?
Well, it seems so. The only question is...
Can I try their bishop to d4? I don't know.
And after bishop f7?
And then I resign.
No, you don't resign. You give it check.
I give a check, that's true. And then after rook f2, rook e1.
Rook e1. Okay, so that
no,
we don't
maybe
do.
you resign then.
Okay. Bishop d4. Well, I can take queen h6.
Okay, and king.
But you know what? Maybe after all, after knight c6, what about playing king h2?
Prophylaxis.
After all, maybe this is the move.
But now knight e5.
Knight e5. Check.
King f8. Did I survive or?
There is a good chance that you survive. There is a good chance that you survive.
Crazy.
So knight c6.
Now I think
Knight
you have to mate me now. Otherwise, if the knight
check,
arrives to e5.
king f8. I cannot go bishop e6. It's just simply not enough.
Bishop e6, queen takes e6, right? And I have rook and 2 pieces for the queen over there.
And what about playing bishop e4?
Oh, beautiful.
Bishop e4 is the move.
Yeah.
The only question I have, why can't I do bishop e4 instead of h4?
That's right, with the knight on e7.
Playing check here and bishop e4.
Maybe that's also win. Rook takes, rook f7. Looks winning.
So maybe h4 was a little
just
overdoing it. Maybe there was a time
subtle,
trouble or something. Yeah, because it seems to be that it's a win, right?
Are we sure that the game didn't start?
I think we are going to be seeing the game just in few minutes.
They're not even there. Okay.
In few minutes, we're going to have the The playing zone is still empty. It is still empty. So let's see one more of Pranav. There was a game like this. Actually, he's seems to be an attacking player, right?
Yes.
He always looks for tactics and initiative. Here he took bishop h6, knight f5, which is pretty obvious, and it just killed his opponent, who was a clearly higher rating player.
Wojtek Platt from Czech Republic, I believe.
And here he went knight e7, winning the queen.
Yeah.
Winning the queen. This is game over. Yeah, and he just went rook a5, and it's important that there is a pin here. Right, and there was this game. This was the last game of the final fours, and actually he made a crushing victory in that tournament.
Yeah.
He won against Sadhwani 3-0.
Something like that, yeah.
Right? It was a clear crush there in a 4-game match. And
this was the third game, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, this was quite difficult for Sadhwani. And in this position, he made a little final tactical touch to the game, just sacrificing the rook and then having the 2 pawns. Oof, I mean, look what a knight. It's just completely hopeless, and game was over, and he won the match. And it was interesting that Pranav was able to win this final fours when he was the underdog in this match as well. And it's interesting that we had the finals there between two talented Indian players, while here also at the Challengers Championship in Israel we have two talented Indian youngster, only 16, and I'm actually wondering what we're going to be seeing out of these two talents in, let's say,
in a couple of years.
3 to 5 years.
Right.
Where are they going to be standing on the world ranking?
I see Prag in top 10 clearly, and we don't know about Pranav, hopefully as well.
Well, there are, of course, between the Indian youngsters, there is Gukesh, also Erigaisi, very talented, Nihal Sarin. So there are plenty of activity in India and internationally, and well, you see on the rankings usually that there are quite a few Indians on the top seed.
Right. Did you play an open tournament in India? Because they invited me a couple of times, but I'm not sure if I want to go. I want to go and visit, but not to play.
I got invitations to Kolkata many years ago, like 25 years ago or something like that. They had events, but they did not have such a great talents as they have now. But they do have a lot of events, I think, running for many years.
Right.
So the players are ready for game 2 of match 2, and Pranav is under pressure. Actually, both of them under pressure for different reasons.
But Pranav cannot lose the game, otherwise the match is over, and that would be 2-0 for Prag.
Exactly. So they are just waiting.
He goes for the fianchetto.
Let's see what we see here. Pranav playing with the white pieces, and he wants to play a long game. The time control is 10 minutes and 5 seconds.
Well, we have a King's Indian with the reverse colors.
Exactly. It's interesting because I was a huge King's Indian player with the black pieces, and I practically never played this with white.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I had the same problem. I'm also a King's Indian player, never tried this one.
But it's so strange. I mean, we could even have an extra
King's Indian with an extra tempo, that's right.
I don't know why, but this is the case. So black goes bishop d6. Normally, if you play with white, it goes bishop e7. I mean, reverse color bishop e2, right?
Right. Now knight c4 would be...
Knight h4.
Knight h4. He wants to go...
Goes very tactical. Well, f4, I'm not sure he can do.
Knight f5 is also an interesting move, because if you take on f5, then the diagonal gets open for this monster on g2.
Yeah.
So usually you reply with g6 in these positions or not?
Well, I don't know, but actually knight e7 may be possible against knight f5.
Knight e7, I guess f4 is easier to achieve now?
That's true, because you block your queen, right? And the h4 knight is not going to be attacked. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't go g6.
I know that with the bishop on e7 and with reverse colors, this is the way to go. But
without castle? Even here?
Yes.
I mean, now, and if I go knight c4 and then possible bishop h6 even?
Yeah, you go to c7, then even bishop g5 for Or bishop h6.
I go bishop h6, knight g4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he went castle.
He went castle. He doesn't care.
No.
So now I guess knight f5.
Knight f5, bishop e7, bishop c7.
And can I go f4?
I don't know if you can do that so fast. Knight f5 is on the board, and then goes g6.
Yeah. g6, and then where should I go?
Well, I think you cannot go to h6 because then the knight will be in trouble.
That was my first intention, but...
So if you go back, I think right now this seems to be early for this kind of actions.
Yeah.
Because white can get in trouble very fast. So after knight f5, bishop c7, a4.
Maybe that's interesting. So after g6, you can go to h6 and then knight c4 or something like that?
Yeah, you don't have f4 played yet, right? So now it's possible what you're telling me, that knight c4, I can go bishop e6 maybe.
You have mixed feelings about the knight on h6, because it looks nice there, but at the same time I can never play f4.
Yes, the knight is tricky because you can't really say that it's attacking, right?
Can I play f4 here?
You can play f4. There are some crazy ideas I have. What happens? Takes and then takes, let's say.
Ooh.
Does it make any sense?
It does, I believe. After takes, king h6, and nothing really happens to your king.
Well, unless you want to go...
I can push all the way down, but...
f5.
f6.
Bishop h6. What do you mean
Beautiful.
f6?
And now f6.
Now f6. Look at my bishop. g5, g4, and we just learned to give mate.
Beautiful.
Okay, probably rook f3 is a better
it's more beautiful
option.
with the a rook, I agree.
Or no, it's more sensible actually to play queen g4 and give mate with it. But bishop h6 works probably, right?
Very beautiful.
Okay, so let's go back to reality.
Yeah.
But g6 is still tempting, right? Check, king g7, you go knight c4.
Yeah, maybe after bishop e6.
Bishop e6, you wanted f4.
Yeah. Now that you showed me how to mate, I want to go f4.
f4. But what about takes, and he takes f4?
And that's right.
Then it's a problem.
Yeah, then it's a huge problem.
Then it's a problem. Okay, so actually this is on the board. Look at this. We were just ahead of time in our analysis. So knight c4, bishop e6 is the most logical move.
Yeah, maybe after bishop e6, if f4 is not working, maybe b3 or something like this, just to reinforce.
Maybe bishop g5.
Oh, that's very annoying.
Maybe bishop g5 because you cannot take because of knight g4 for the moment. What do you think?
Yeah.
Bishop g5 might be unpleasant because the bishop is not on e7 but it's on c7.
So how to stop bishop g5 now? Actually, bishop g5
well, still I don't threat with anything unless we consider f4 as a little threat.
I don't know if it's that little.
Yeah. But after bishop g5, maybe black can go queen d7.
You don't care
and
about...
then the next move, knight g8.
And of course, if I take on f6, you just take and nothing happens there.
Oh, nothing. Of course, it's so clear that we go for a vacation with the king on f6. Why not? We go home back in the next move. Okay, so bishop e6 we consider it's logical, but bishop g5 will appear.
But look, Pranav still has 10 minutes in the clock.
Yeah, he plays extremely fast. Maybe it's his strategy now that he's not going to think much. He wants to play by intuition. What about knight g8?
I guess I have to take and play f4.
You really like this move, f4.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how I should be taking this. Because if king takes, maybe you go bishop h6 first, or no?
Maybe.
Maybe you go first here and then f4, right?
That should be better for white. A little bit, yeah?
I don't know. Is it better?
Maybe b3. I like the move b3 in this position.
I was not a big fan of b6.
Yeah.
I mean, the other reversed way of playing.
I just want to push f5 and... Still not sure about that, but try to start an attack over there. And queen f3,
yeah.
h4.
Well, f5 is something that I'm not very happy with. Knight g8 is on the board.
Yeah, bishop g5 was very
too annoying.
Yeah.
Too annoying,
to allow it. Now he just took in 2 seconds per nap.
Well, there was no other. Well, queen d2 was possible, but. Okay, so now rook g8 is also possible. So not to allow the bishop to h6.
But it's a strange configuration of pieces, right? Now f4 wants to
Yeah, somehow I don't feel comfortable with the rook on g8 at all, because after f4, f5, and this is the position we have on the board. Bishop e6.
Bishop e6, and then you don't care about f5, right?
I
f5,
don't care
f6.
about f5. I take
f6. Let's go.
f6.
And give me that. Well, I just want to go bishop h6 in the next move.
Yeah.
So Prag didn't allow, and then he took on f4. But it has to be better for white, right?
It looks quite pleasant at first to me. Bishop f4. What is he gonna do? Bishop takes?
I don't know. I even prefer to take with the pawn for some reason before, but okay.
Oops.
And now maybe bishop e6, because after f5 you take on c4, and then I have the e5 square.
But he played without exchanging the black square bishop, makes sense, right? Because he wants to take on c4 and control the e5.
Yeah, that's why I prefer to take with the pawn on f4, because I was gaining more control over the center. Now the e5 square is going to be for black.
Bishop e6 is definitely the good choice, I think.
So maybe bishop f4 was a mistake, or...
I understand your point that you wanted to take this, but okay, then the bishop on c1 is not developed, so I go bishop e6 anyway. And now f5 already is a completely different story, right? Because there is this square, queen h4, so white cannot even think about playing f5. Okay, so queen d2. Now the question is, how black continues? Takes a knight e5,
takes and
or
bishop
takes
e5. Ah, he
takes
took.
on f4. gf4. So we have the structure without the bishops. This rook on g8 is so funny.
Yeah.
It just somehow doesn't belong there. It disturbs my eye.
Right. So I guess f5 is still not a threat because of bishop c4, and then the e5 square is for blacks.
You mean, I was thinking to play with black f5.
He just took immediately.
What is he going to do? Because e5,
e5, and then the bishop is an amazing piece.
Yeah, so that's why
f6. Prophylaxis.
Rook a3, showtime.
Oh. Rook a3, rook g3, h4, h5.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have the rook on the king's side, right? Also, rook e1 makes sense.
You want to push e5 there?
Yeah, yeah. Somehow I'm aiming to activate my bishop in g2, which I think can be sensible.
So he's got two possible plans: pushing e5 or attacking on the king side.
But look how big time difference there is. 5 minutes favor of Pranav. This is, I think, the biggest difference in time in the whole match.
Yep. 5 minutes is a lot. In this time control, remember, it's 10 minutes plus 5 seconds increment. So guys, who do you think is going to win this game? Pranav or Prag? We're reading you. I think Pranav is going to take this home.
There is some great chance to it, I think. And I hope for him also, because it would be so nice if he can king back in this match and he would score his first victory.
Rook f3 was played.
Rook f3, queen e7.
Now e4 is under attack, and actually you have to protect it.
Well, probably rook e1, no other, unless you want to go rook h3. or rook g3.
I really prefer to bring the other rook
by
a3.
Yes, because I think the rook on f1 was kind of happy there. So I'm curious, rook e1. He goes rook e1. So of course e5 at some point can come, but the rook definitely has to move away to have this powerful bishop on track.
Prag said, okay, I don't want to be on the g file, and he hides the king in the corner. King h8 has been played.
Rook h3 or rook g3, but you know what, maybe at some point g5 will be possible.
Gaining control
so
on the dark squares.
After all, this strange rook on g8.
Now makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, I love it when people in chess and outside of chess, when you have some problem or disadvantage or something which looks something that it's wrong there, but you take the benefit of that.
Right.
And this can be a great example of that, that the rook on g8 doesn't stand so well, but if you move your king and you place your other pieces in the right place, maybe it can actually be a great supporter of g5.
Wow,
e5.
e5.
Action time. But my question is, what happens if black just takes?
Yeah.
This is a very simple question, because if takes, I would take it again.
Okay. And now knight f3 comes with a check, so you have to move the rook away. Let's say
but
to
where?
f2.
Rook f2?
Just to increase pressure against the e5.
But then rook e8 threatens with the check, rook e2, and then black just goes away.
Yes.
So tell me please, someone, what happens on f takes e5?
Maybe you can play rook f2 straight away.
Yeah, rook f2 or something,
so now
and you're
c6
thinking.
Coming.
But look at your king afterwards, right? It can be very tricky. F takes e5 on the board.
Yeah.
So let's see where the rook is going to be moved.
Maybe he was just bluffing, but now Prag took the pawn.
What did Pranav had in mind?
And even after rook f2, can I go queen d6 or something like this? Or
and what's your idea?
To check with the queen.
Yeah, don't tell me you want to eat that pawn.
No, I just want not to ruin my pawn structure.
Okay.
No. I know that the e-pawn is very dangerous this time.
So what do you want to do?
Rook f8? Maybe rook e8 or something.
Rook e8 or rook f8, yeah? But black has a very nice position.
Yeah. This pawn on e5 is very annoying.
But black is fine. I mean, rook e7, you double on the e5, right?
Yeah, also the white king is...
I mean, it's not clear whether this e5 pawn is a weakness or it can be a great pass pawn.
Right.
And the black king is not in danger at all. Unless white can go rook f7 and queen h6.
That's too much, I believe.
So it would be nice if white can go 2 moves at a time, but we have been playing with other rules.
So now Pranav thinking, a couple of minutes.
Gives away from that extra minutes of
g3.
time.
G3. What's the point of rook g3? He wants to increase the pressure by g5?
But the problem is that after queen d6, e takes f4.
Oh, nice intermediate move.
Oops.
Okay, I'm gonna try something. Okay,
maybe
instead of here, can I take on e5 and then queen f4 or something?
Yeah, that's why I'm not sure that my queen d6 is there, but then knight c4.
Yeah. Anyway, he went for queen f6 instead of queen d6.
But he has the same idea. Probably queen f6 is simply a better move.
Probably he missed e takes f4.
Oh.
And now Pranav could be in real trouble.
Well, black has a pawn up.
There are no pins now against the queen with queen f4 or whatsoever. Bishop c6, e takes f4, rook f3 or something, and just taken c6, and it is a clean pawn up for black.
It is.
Maybe queen f4 there.
Well, queen f4, rook e8.
You cover the e5 square, no more checks.
Well, yeah, all these important squares are covered.
Is this going to be game over for Pranav?
Well, I guess he should be fighting for a draw in this game, and then in game 3 try to equalize the match of today. But it's very difficult when you blunder something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why he played rook g3.
Probably he just missed this e takes f4.
He took fe, knight e5.
Oh, but now I don't like this. Maybe he's going to be greedy and grab the b7 pawn? No, queen to g5.
This I like, actually, realizing that he made some not the best decisions before. And then he's trying to recover that.
Yeah, basically this is forcing black to take on g5. And now, after rook takes, I believe knight takes c4. There's bishop d5 as well.
Oh, but wow, okay.
I don't know. But
no, well...
Maybe too many pawns, but... I'm taking on g8, I'm taking on c5.
No, this can be very sensible. So after rook queen g5 was actually a very nice move.
Yeah, yeah.
And if knight d7, then takes.
Yeah, bishop d5.
Bishop d5, okay, well, black can go. No, rook e8 is not possible.
You take and then bishop c6.
c6, yes. Wow, so maybe he's the guy.
Maybe he's the one putting pressure now.
But actually rook e5 is...
Okay, knight d7 on the board.
Okay, immediately without taking on g5.
That also makes sense.
Okay, so, but after bishop there, maybe rook f8, because some contemplate there. But no, after bishop b7, rook b8 can be the good move.
Bishop d5?
Bishop d5. And then rook just goes. Right?
Takes.
Takes, knight takes. This is hanging.
b3.
But after b3...
You can at least take.
But look at that. Rook e7, rook g7.
Wow. What's going on? Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if I exchange this pair of rooks on the 7th rank, I believe black is better, right? So let's say king g7.
I think king g7, but maybe queen d5.
Ooh, queen d5. And then rook f3 coming as well.
But I think black should be fine here. I mean, queen e7, for example. And have all kind of things on the e file. But right now, white has 2 minutes and 50 seconds, while Pragnananda has less than 2 minutes.
Yep.
Well, it seems like white has to exchange.
Yeah, otherwise I don't see what to do. Yeah, he
Rook
took on g7, now king takes c7. And I guess you cannot trade queens, so you have to play queen d5.
Queen d5 is on the board. Well, actually, rook d8 is also a very nice move, and only after takes on b7 go.
Queen e5 or...
But okay, maybe queen e7 after all is not bad.
Who's better here?
I don't know, you want to take that? Rook f8?
Rook f8, queen e1 coming with a checkmate, so... Suddenly the white king is in real trouble in this position.
Now maybe h3, king h2, somehow hiding. But it's very tricky. Very tricky.
Yeah, you can play queen e1, rook f7, then the knight comes.
Queen e7 on the board. On the board.
And now it's now never to capture the b7 pawn, I guess.
Rook b3.
Wow. And rook f8, once again, counterplay.
No, this king is incredibly vulnerable on the first rank.
And now I'm ready to play b6.
No.
Looks like white's position can collapse immediately.
Well, for the moment, white is a pawn down and the king is in big danger.
Right. So these are two very important factors.
White is also down to 130.
Finally, time is balanced. Remember that Prague was 5 minutes down in the clock. Queen takes b7, at least getting some material back.
But now isn't this check also possible and rook f8?
Yeah, queen takes e7, and you want to go rook f7 and queen h3.
Check.
King h1. How about this rook endgame?
Well,
rook c1.
It's not black who's going to suffer.
Right.
So
queen e1, very interesting. Rook f8 straight away as well.
It looks very annoying for
Can I go rook f3?
Rook f3, you have to go. You have to go rook f3, rook f3,
can take knight
takes
e5.
knight e5. I mean, definitely you want to play with black, right? Queen e4, let's say.
Bishop g2.
Queen d1 was also not a bad move.
Yeah. Only 26 seconds for Prague.
Queen e1 check is played, so he's going to be going after this opportunity. Rook f8 on the board. Very tough moments for white, I must say. Though Prague went down to 34 seconds in his clock, but he's sharp in tactics, so for him it was no problem to go for this. Because if you push back the queen to g2, it's just white is so passive. Queen d7 was played, but okay, in this position, queen takes, takes.
I guess rook b3 is just trying
but it's, black is collecting all the pawns.
Rook c2, rook c4. Oh, c3.
c3. But c3, rook.
You can even take on c3. You can even take.
But I do this first.
Yeah.
Anyway, white has to be taking with the pawn.
Or of course, because the king endgame is completely lost, right?
But I don't know exactly whether this is the best way. Well, rook can go here. White can go rook g5, rook c5.
He gave the check, actually.
I like to give the check too.
And now...
Though right here, if rook b2, then white would be take and rook d3 and capturing back a pawn. But the king is very much outside on the edge of the board. So how nice move, king f6. Oh, very
wow,
beautiful.
I really like this move. Just wants to support the pass pawn on d4.
Very nice try, because if takes, and white protects the pawn, king f5, let's say, and black's activity in king, and look at this king so much outside.
Looks almost losing, Judit, for white, yeah?
Well, there is a serious tension in the game, because if Prague wins this game, then there is no game 3 today.
Right.
And he would collect the second match point.
Only needing one more match point tomorrow in the Blitz.
And actually, if I remember very well, in 2021, Prague, whenever he had a 4-game match, I think all of them he won 3 out of 3 games.
Wow.
So he's not wasting his time and energy, you know. He goes
wants to
for
go to
it.
the beach now. Still some sun.
Even though you can see that he's stressful, he's shaking his leg, the tension is there, of course.
No, this is one very important thing about top players. They never relax, you know. They're always focused.
Look at that. He's going to play, I think, king f5. I like king f5 more, not to allow king g4, but he went king e5 instead.
King e5.
Rook g5 check. You see, I told you king f5.
Right.
I told you king f5.
Anyway, this should be losing, yeah?
The
technique.
Smell of the precision. I really like king f5, because you have the same idea, right? But you don't want to allow the white to start giving.
Now king e2, I guess.
Yeah, but then
also the
takes
c pawn
c5.
runs. Now you cannot go back, actually. Wow, this is gonna be a draw.
But why?
You take and then c5.
But takes d1, c8, king b3.
Prague 3 seconds. Is he gonna repeat? 1 second? Wow, he went king f4 and this is a draw, or not?
No, he's going to be playing on.
But how?
He wants to win this. King e5, he goes back. And after rook g5, he shouldn't go king e6 because rook d5. No, still he goes back.
King e6, okay.
He goes back. Maybe he will regret it, but he goes back.
He can regret it, yeah.
Yeah,
Rook
okay,
c3
rook c3.
And d3, but then the king is cut. And
no, but
can
never take and rook b4 or rook a3.
Mm-hmm.
No, rook a3 not, but maybe a5. No, a5 not. Rook
c5.
a3,
c5.
c5 here, check, and rook a6, right?
Yeah, I think Pranav is going to save the game.
Yeah.
d3 has been played in the game, but I guess you can just bring the king now. Well, you want to take on b3, and now d3 is protected, so...
Yeah, actually he still has some good chances. King f4, rook b3, king e4.
King e3.
But fine, anyway, rook a3. Or rook...
can also try d2 and then rook b2, rook takes
rook
h2.
c3.
Oh,
that's
rook
what
c3.
Played. Rook a5, I guess. But you know how it goes. You go rook a5, then d2, and you take, and you grab the h2 pawn.
And then you have the two passers over there.
Well, that's
still
not easy for white. It can easily be one for black. But rook c5 defending the pawn.
So king d6 maybe?
That's what he does, king d6.
Then you check again on d5, then king c6, and there's no rook c5 anymore.
Seconds already on the clock, rook c8.
Wow.
White has 15 seconds, black is down to 12 seconds. Rook a3, rook h8.
I like rook h8, because
yeah,
now
me
those
too.
pawns are going to fall.
Looking after.
You can try d2 and then rook h3.
That's what it's doing. Actually, that should be winning.
Very nice idea. Rook a8, probably?
Well, rook a8, king c5, I guess. I mean, there is no rush to take on h2. This is what we have on the board. Rook a7, king will take on c4, rook b7.
And now give me that pawn.
Well, yeah, he can go g5 first if he wants, because of course it's not a good feeling to let the white king go to activity after rook h2, right? So
king d4.
King d4. He does not want to allow the king be active.
So how about rook b4 check?
King e5, a5.
a5, rook takes, and rook a2.
And rook b5. That should be true, I think. Rook b7, he goes back.
At some point, he's got to take the pawn on h2.
But there is no rush.
There is no rush,
You can see that.
Now you're going to do it or not?
Well, eventually he should. And this is the time. Finally goes back. I think he could go back check on h3 first, because now his king is pushed back.
That was nice, yeah, rook h3 and rook a3.
What is this?
This is winning for black, or king g7, king h6, h4, that could be a plan?
Maybe it's winning.
Now king g5,
Rook
let's
b6,
go.
well, king g5, but after maybe king f5.
King f5, once
Yes,
again, another
because
subtlety.
g5. King f5 is always the move. Uh-oh. Why is he chasing the king all the way to g3? He wants to go king g3, rook b5.
But then, I see. Now king h6, why not? And then just play h4 next move. That's right, the king is hidden.
Okay,
now,
so
rook a4, I like this move, just to cut the king.
Rook a3, king g2, right?
Very nice technique.
And then just h4. Isn't it just winning?
I guess it should be winning.
Just
yeah?
g4
Right,
and
king h5, then you...
well, you systematically go forward.
Exactly, and what do you do with the white pieces? You cannot make any progress on the queen side with the a5 pawn.
Oh, g5.
Rook a4 now.
g5.
g5. That's right.
g5.
I don't... Rook a4 as well.
Well, rook a4 and g5, maybe that's more straightforward. But he couldn't resist.
No, king f5? No.
Rook a4
Rook
now.
a4.
I mean, I think rook g3 wins too. But rook a4 and king h5.
Yeah. I mean, king h3, king h5.
But this is over.
This is dead lost. Prague is going to take the match. Check, h3, king h4.
Check. Still technique. h3, king h4.
Yeah. h3, king h4. And then we have the same position, but with the pawns more advanced. That's it.
Yeah. Very difficult moments for Pranav. He's facing too strong of an opponent.
Yeah.
Very difficult challenge for him.
Now Prag is even drinking some water. He's very calm now. He knows he's winning.
Well,
now even grabbing the pawn on a5. Yeah, now this is a well-known endgame.
This is exactly the endgame you don't want to have from the white side.
And he resigns.
And he resigned. Wow, what a crushing victory for Prag today. Match 2, won again, and poor Pranav, he's extremely disappointed that he did not give the best he could, I think.
Right.
We can say that he could not give the best play he could. And he's kind of destroyed. It's so sad to see.
And we have had 2 games where Prag, is being putting pressure and pressure step by step, torturing his opponent in a Carlsen-esque style.
But it's so nice to see them discuss.
Yeah,
and
they're good friends.
Yeah, this I like very much. That somehow I have the feeling that they have a very healthy rivalry. At the board, they want to kill each other. Of course, only hypothetically. It's not. On the board, it's blood, but immediately after the game is over and before the game, they're talking to each other, discussing some chess because both of them wants to improve. And this is very typical for chess players at any age when you really care, that you want to know your opponent's thoughts, ideas, what you've seen better, what your opponent didn't. And also somehow for the players who lost the game, I think it's kind of relief that somehow you want to convince yourself and your opponent that I was not so bad.
Right.
I had a good position, right?
I was holding.
I had my chances. It's just I missed it right there.
Talking about killing, I'm sure many of you guys watched yesterday this chess boxing night, right? Can you imagine Pranav and Prag in a chess boxing match?
Well, they should definitely spare their time in a physical preparation as well, because their chess preparation is seeable that it's quite good, even though that Pranav could not have a victory yet in this event, but
he was close in some positions. This knight f7, if he had spotted that.
Yeah,
followed by rook d6.
But if you think about it, yesterday he played much better than today. Yesterday he had his chances, he had his opportunities, and basically he missed those chances. But you could say that it was a good fight.
Yeah.
Today you could feel that he drowned,
difference, right? Yeah.
And he drowned much faster in both games. That simply there was an opening phase of the game.
No, let's stay. Whatever you prefer. Okay, Pranav, take a seat.
We have our
Good fight.
special guest. Pranav is here with us.
Hi.
And well, you're very kind that you come here. I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
How did you feel yesterday? Because I felt yesterday there was really great opportunities for you which you missed.
Yeah, yesterday actually it was my first time playing Prague in any event, and I did not know, and the first game it was very tricky actually, and I thought I was better, but yeah, I missed that like knight f7 after that, which he like played very well, and I got into bad position. And
did you realize it after the game or only later? Well, we bring it up so people know what we are talking about, because it was a very interesting game, and this was the moment when after knight f7 you have a clearly better.
Yeah. I actually saw knight f7, but rook f7, rook e6, queen g5. I was thinking about like rook e7, knight e7, rook e7, and rook c4, and I thought, okay.
Yeah.
And then only I saw that he could take. I mean, after the game, rook c6 was possible, and it's just over. Yeah.
Oops. Yeah, rook c6. This is also we saw it only a little bit later.
Yeah. After rook c6, it was winning. So.
Yeah.
Even after knight g4, I was thinking like after that maybe I should have thought a little bit, because after queen c7, knight g6, I could have just come queen c3, and I think it was just okay.
But here you were still playing for a win?
No, I mean
no,
the knights were very tricky, and I just want to exchange one of those. But it was and I think he made a mistake somewhere. Knight f4, rook. I mean here I think I should play king h2, and I think it's still okay here, because it's the same idea. Like knight e2 means I think queen
e5, right?
Queen e5 and
or queen c7, and you have some counter chance, but maybe queen e5 as well.
Yeah, knight f2, queen e3. I was saying that, but I mean king h2, and I think I should be defending.
Yeah, somehow you slipped.
Yeah, I was low on time here, and I just.
Well, you're low on time the whole game.
Yeah.
And then in game 2, you made some fantastic ideas. We loved it when you played this.
AFA and
this a5,
d5,
right? Yeah. Did you have hopes that you take over in this game?
Yeah, I thought I should be better somehow, because if the bishops come out, I thought I should have some play, and I thought his king was weak on b1, because I had rooks there, and after bishop b4, I did not like bishop b4, because it just exchanges and.
Well, you had this great opportunity. I'm sure you checked it later that here rook c3 was strong.
Yeah, rook c3. I just missed rook c3. I was just thinking in the direction of d4 and e5, and I was trying to checkmate, but it was like he was quick with the counterplay with rook g1 and rook g7. After which I think it was
scary a bit, right?
Yeah.
Here, for a second it was.
Yeah, but here it's just a draw, and the third game.
So, what feelings did you have in the first 2 games yesterday?
I mean, I thought I was playing well, but in the crucial moments, I think I made some mistakes, which, and I think, I wanted to keep some more time during the game. I thought I was playing a little bit slow. Yeah.
So you were changing strategies during the match in the games.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, and what about today's game in game 1? How do you feel the game went in this kind of structure? Do you feel that you're familiar with this structure?
No, I've never played the Nachdov before, actually. This was just, I was like, okay, let's try for this game. And I thought it went pretty okay. The position was not that bad. And
we thought that in this position, I was not sure whether this rook e1 and allowing you to play bishop g4, rook c1, this was so good for white. But we consider that knight f5 was a mistake. Do you agree with that, or?
I thought his threat was bishop d4. I did not see how.
Yes, queen d7. We thought.
Queen d7. Okay.
Because somehow the d4 knight seems to be the heart.
h3, and I thought my bishop was.
You're losing your bishop?
No, bishop f5 I could play, but I thought I would lose the double bishop.
Yeah.
Because if I take knight f5, bishop b6 or something like that, and.
Maybe still. Yeah, it's not so simple.
So I wanted to keep the bishop. That's why I played knight f5.
Yeah, but the problem. But after knight h5, knight f5, queen a5, it seems like white is taking, right?
Yeah, my queen side was weak, and
he
said he missed the knight d5 idea, which I thought was.
Which one?
He missed knight d5. Yeah.
Yeah, but after that somehow he played extremely well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought that you save it here, but then.
I think I should have taken bishop c6.
Here, bishop c6.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very hard to make this decision.
After bishop d6, queen d7 was the only move. I mean, after the game I checked, but I did not see queen d7. I thought I was just losing all the pawns.
All the pawns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, queen d7.
Yeah, but still, you don't want to give the pawn, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but after that it was very difficult for me to defend. So maybe I should have thought a little bit and just given up the pawn. So,
yeah, but this is also experience.
Yeah.
You will understand this when you have a bad position, how bad position you want to get. So a little bit bad is still much better than really bad. So this was exactly on that. So how do you go for the next day? Because you should forget about everything what happened today and yesterday.
I think it's just blitz, so maybe there I think, I don't know, play my normal chess and just not to blunder anything and just keep on.
Do you have very different preparation in shorter time control than in classical game?
I wouldn't say so. Like okay, classical it's like most different, and in blitz I don't think there is like that many preparation. I just see my openings and just solve some tactics to stay sharp, and that's all. Yeah.
Do you play a lot online chess?
Yeah, but recently, like because I'm having some tournaments, and I did not play a lot recently after that. Yeah, after that.
Well, anyway, we wish you good luck and give a great fight and punch back to your countrymen. But of course, you're very young, so there is a lot of positive things will be coming in your career. So good luck. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And well, tomorrow we are going to have very interesting matches, right?
Right, we have 2 blitz matches where Pranav is very tricky and a very experienced player as well. So we hope that he can come back in this 3rd match, and then we can have a 4th match as well.
Absolutely. Of course, blitz is a little bit different already than a rapid of 10 minutes and 5 minutes, what we've seen today and yesterday. But we see also, I think, that Praggnanandhaa is having more experience. He's a better player. Well, the rating shows. He outplayed today in both games very clearly Pranav. I think psychologically he went down after yesterday's, and this is how you can follow so well, right? That chess is not only things when happening on the chessboard. Yesterday it was about that.
Right.
But today it was already more, and it's very difficult to bounce back because the result, if you see, it's 4.5/2. So it's very stressful to be. Unfortunately, I was also in similar situation.
We have all been there.
Yeah,
in different levels, of course, but
we don't want to remember that, right? Like no, never. It never happened.
Right.
What? Which tournament? No, did not happen. It didn't exist. Unfortunately, if you're a sport person, you're in competition, you're going to be experiencing some bad moments. And this makes you harder and a bigger fighter, that after that, in such a situation, how you can bounce back, how you can relax, how you can prepare for tomorrow and still stay human, good human, with a great fighting spirit. And I really wish for Pranav that tomorrow he's bouncing back in match 3. But let's see how is the skill of both players in the blitz games, right?
Right.
Because it's a little different there.
It's much more different, I would say, than rapid game. Depends a lot on the day as well. Some days you feel like you play like God in blitz, and some days you don't see anything. So let's see what comes tomorrow.
Of course.
And well, it's been a pleasure as usual, guys. Thanks for all the comments over there in the YouTube channel, in the Twitch channel, in the Chess24 site as well. We are reading you guys, and thanks a lot for being there. It's been a pleasure, Judit, as usual, to be here with you, learning from you. It's for me as well a good opportunity to improve my chess with you.
Well, thanks very much. I'm enjoying it. It's fun to commentate games and seeing and discover ideas, defensive and attacks, and also to witness those two guys, because it can easily be the case that we are seeing and development of a future world champion.
Right. Okay, guys, so then have a lot of fun over there in your houses, and take care, and see you tomorrow, yeah?
See you tomorrow in the same time.
Bye.
As today.